Okay, children, see another sum. This sum says if for the matrix A, the given matrix says this, verify that A into adjoint A is a null matrix, right? So null matrix. So first what we'll do, we'll calculate the adjoint A matrix, right? And we know that adjoint A is the transpose of cofactor matrix formed, right? So first we calculate the cofactors of every element. Suppose we are calculating the cofactors of this element, first row, first column. Then what we'll do? This row and this column will get cancelled. 2 into minus 1, minus 2, minus 20. Right? So the cofactor of this term, first row, first column is minus 2, minus 20. And it has plus sign. We have discussed earlier. This column, this row cofactors we are calculating. So this row and this column will get cancelled. What will get? Minus 4 and minus 0. So this place has minus sign, right? So it will be minus times of minus 4 minus 0. Similarly, this will become 16. This row and this column cancel. 16 minus 0. Then again this row and this column cancel. 1 minus 12. And this place has minus sign. Same way you can calculate the cofactor matrix. And this, the value will come minus 22, 4, 16, 11, minus 2, minus 8, minus 11, 2, 8. Right, children? And when we do the transpose of this matrix, we'll get the value of adjoint A matrix. And that will be the minus 22, 11. First column will become first row. Second column will become second row. And third column will become third row. Transpose means interchange of row into columns. Right, children? And we have to verify that A into adjoint A is null matrix. That means we have to multiply A matrix to adjoint A matrix. And when we do that, the matrix A is this and adjoint A we have calculated as this. Okay. Now when we multiply this matrix by row by column matrix, then what we'll get? See, 2 first row and first column when you multiply, 2 into minus 22 minus 44, minus 1 into plus 4 minus 4, right? 3, 16, 48, right? First row, second column when you multiply, it will be 2 into 11, 22, minus 1 into minus 2 plus 2 and 3 into minus 8 minus 24. Same as you can calculate the remaining elements by multiplying row and columns. And when you add these elements, what will get? All the terms as 0. So when in matrix all the terms are 0, that means that matrix will be a null matrix. Right, children? Please note down. Okay, moving towards the next sum. Here it is given that matrix A and B inverse is given and we have to calculate the value of AB inverse. Okay. Now children, we have studied in the last theorem that AB to the whole inverse is B inverse into A inverse, and today we are going to apply this theorem. AB inverse equals to B inverse into A inverse, right? Now the value of B inverse is already given. We have to calculate the value of A inverse, and when we substitute B inverse into A inverse and we multiply, we get the value of AB to the whole inverse, right? Now, for finding the inverse, for A to be inversible, A should be non-singular. That means the determinant of A should not be equals to 0. Let's show that by finding the value of determinant of A, and which I have calculated here. You can see by expanding it by first row. 5, 3 minus 4, then 0, and then 4, 4 minus 3. This will all come minus 1. Right, children? That means determinant of A is not 0. Therefore, A is not singular and hence A is invertible. So, we know that the inverse of A exists. How we are going to find the inverse? By applying this formula, adjoint A upon determinant of A. So, for calculating the value of adjoint A, what we'll do? We'll make the cofactor unit matrices and then do the transpose of that matrix. So for finding the cofactors of every row, we know how to calculate the cofactors. Suppose we are calculating the cofactor of this particular row, first row. So if this first row and first column element you are calculating cofactor, this will get cancelled. It will be 3 minus 4. 3 minus 4 is minus 1. For this second row, second column, you can see that it will be 2 minus 2, again 0. For this row, third row and First row, third column. This row and this column will get cancelled. What will get? 4 minus 3. So it will be 1. Understood, children? For second row, first column, this row and this column will get cancelled. It will be 0 minus 8. So minus of minus 8 will be plus 8. Right? So this way we can calculate the cofactors, and when we do the transpose of cofactor matrix, we'll get the adjoint A. Now for finding A inverse, we have to divide this adjoint A matrix by determinant of A, and the value determinant of A is minus 1. That means you have to multiply minus 1 in adjoint A matrix. What will get? All the signs of the every term will change. It will be this matrix. 1 minus 8 12, 0 minus 1 2, minus 1 10, minus 5. This is the value of A inverse. Now applying the theorem, AB to the whole inverse is B inverse into A inverse. What will get? The value of B inverse is this matrix. Value of A inverse we have calculated, and we can see that both are square matrix or order 3. That means multiplication is possible. Children, we know how to multiply row by column. So when we do that, we'll get this matrix. Minus 2, 19, see. When you multiply first row to first column, 1 into 1, 1, 3 into 0, 0, and 3 into minus 1, minus 3. First row, second column, children. 1 into minus 8, minus 8, 3 into minus 1, minus 3, 3 into 10, 30. Okay, children. First row, third column. 1 into 12, 12, 3 into 2, 6, then 3 into minus 15, minus 45. Similarly, we have multiplied second row, first column, third column, third row, first column, second column, third column. So remaining elements you can get. Now when we add, when you solve these terms, what we'll get? We'll get this matrix, which is the value of AB to the whole inverse. Right, children? Please note down. Children, next we are going to discuss about the solution of system of linear equations. Right? So here we are going to use inverse, we are going to find adjoint, everything we are going to, the purpose was to solve system of equations by using matrix method, and that what is called Martin's rule. Right, children? Suppose any system of equation is given. Suppose this is a linear system of equations. 3 equations given. A1x plus b1y plus c1z equals to d1. A2x plus b2y plus c2z equals to d2. And a3x plus b3y plus c3z equals to d3. It can also be represented by this product of matrix. Okay, children? Now, suppose this matrix is A, this matrix is X, and this matrix is B. Okay? When we multiply A inverse from left hand side, we'll get A inverse A into X equals to A inverse B. We know that, children, A inverse into any matrix equals to the identity matrix. Now, identity matrix into X is equals to X matrix. So the value of this X matrix will be A inverse into B matrix. So from here we can say that solution of the system of linear equation by using inverse of the matrix is called Martin's method or Martin's rule. Right, children? Please note down. Now, children, remember few points when we are solving the system of equations of linear equations. So these few points we need to remember, that when we are solving, we need to see that if the determinant of A is not equal to 0. Right, children? We could get determinant of A as 0, or it could not equals to 0. Okay, children? So we can say that when the determinant of A is not equal to 0, the system of equations is consistent and has unique solution. That means lines will be intersecting at one point. Unique solution means one solution we will get. Right? Second point says, if determinant of A is 0 and adjoint A into B is a null matrix, then we can say that the system of equations is consistent and has infinite many solutions. That means there are infinite points, infinite solutions which are common to all the system of equations. Every line in the system, right? Third point, determinant of A equals to 0 and adjoint A into B matrix is not equal to 0. When this condition comes, this is 0 and this is not equal to null matrix, then we can say that the system of equation is inconsistent and has no solution. And when the condition no solution comes, when the lines are parallel. See, when the lines are parallel, they will never intersect. So, by using matrix method, you can say that determinant of A is 0 and adjoint A into B is not equals to null matrix, then the system is inconsistent and has no solution. Please note down. Children, next we are going to study about the homogeneous system of linear equations. Children, what is the homogeneous system of linear equations? Suppose any system of equations given in that Ax is always equals to B. Okay. When this B matrix will be a null matrix, when this B matrix becomes a null matrix, then we say that the system of linear equation is homogeneous. Then what will it become? A into X equals to null matrix. From here two cases arises, that the determinant of A could be 0 or could not be 0, right? So from here we see that both the cases we'll discuss. When the determinant of A is not equals to 0, that means A is non-singular, right children? So multiply A inverse both sides. Here what we'll get? A inverse into A matrix will be identity matrix, and identity matrix into X matrix is X matrix. And here what we'll get? A inverse into null matrix will get null matrix. So the value of X matrix will be null matrix. That means X matrix contains the variables X, Y, Z, right? It could be n variables, x1, x2, x3 and xn. So the value of the variables, all variables will be 0. Then we'll say that the system has only trivial solution, right? And in the second case, when the determinant of A matrix is 0, that means A is a singular matrix, and we also know that B is also singular. It is given in homogeneous system of linear equation, B matrix will always be a singular matrix. So we can say that adjoint A into B, what we will get? B is null matrix, so the product will be always a null matrix. Then we can say that the system of equation is consistent and has infinite many solutions. Second condition we have discussed, right children? When adjoint A, determinant A is 0 and adjoint A into B is 0, then we can say that the system of equation is consistent and has infinite many solutions. Therefore, from here we say that we can conclude that the homogeneous system of equation is always consistent. Right children? Please note down. Okay children, let's see a sum based on Martin's rule. Here we have to find the system, solve the system of equations, linear equations given. There are three equations given. When we convert this into matrix, what we'll get? This is the A matrix, this is B X matrix, and this is B matrix, right? A matrix has the coefficient of X, Y and Z. Okay? X matrices are the variables and B matrix are the constants. First what we'll do, we'll calculate the value of determinant of A. And when we expand this, find the value of determinant of A matrix, what we'll get? Minus 8. When determinant of A is not equal to 0, that means A is inversible, inverse of A exists. So from here we can say that when Ax equals to B, X equals to A inverse B. Right children? Now what we'll do, for calculating inverse, we need first to calculate adjoint A. Adjoint A, we have already discussed, it's a transpose of cofactor matrix. So if when we calculate the cofactors of first row, first column, suppose this row, this column will get cancelled, 8 plus 3, it will be 11. For this row, this column, this row and this column will get cancelled, 2 minus 1 will be 1, and this position has minus sign, so it will be minus 1. So we can calculate the cofactors, and when we do the transpose of this matrix, the rows and column will get interchanged. First row will become first column, second row will become second column, and third row will become third column. So this is the value of adjoint of A. Right children? Now you can see that the formula for A inverse is 1 upon determinant of A into adjoint A, and determinant of A is minus 8. That means this is the value of A inverse. Understood children? So by Martin's rule we can say that X equals to A inverse B. This implies that x, y, z is X matrix equals to A inverse into B. So when you multiply these two matrices, we'll get the matrix -8, -16 and -24. Right children? And when you multiply -1 by 8 to each term, we'll get 1, 2, 3. When you equate these two matrices, we'll get the value of x, y and z, which is x equals to 1, y equals to 2 and z equals to 3. Right children? Please note down. Children, let's see another sum. Again, there is a system of equation given. 2x minus 3y minus z equals to 0, x plus 3y minus 2z equals to 0 and x minus 3y equals to 0. When we convert into matrices, we will be writing as 2 minus 3 minus 1, 1 3 minus 2 and 1 minus 3, 0 into x, y, z equals to 0, 0. So, this is a homogeneous system of equations. The value of B matrix is 0, right? So, what we'll do, we'll calculate the value of determinant of A matrix. And when we expand this A matrix, this will be 0. The value of this A determinant will be 0. And when the value of A determinant is 0, then we can say that in homogeneous system of equation, the system of equation is consistent and has infinite many solutions. And when determinant of A is not equal to 0, the system of equation is consistent and has a trivial solution, right? X, Y, Z all 0. So what we'll do, we'll assume that the value of Z as K. See, in first and second equation, if you put Z equals to K, we'll get the two equations, 2x minus 3y equals to K and x plus 3y equals to 2K. Right children? And when you write into matrix, you will get these three matrices. Say this is C matrix, X matrix and D matrix. That means, what we'll do, we'll calculate the determinant of C matrix, which is 9 not equal to 0. Then we can say that the inverse of C matrix exists. So the adjoint of C matrix will be transpose of cofactor matrix. We know how to calculate cofactors, and when we do that, we'll get this matrix, the transpose of cofactor matrix as adjoint of C matrix. Now when we put this value adjoint of C matrix and determinant of C here in inverse formula, what we'll get 1 by 9 into 3, 3 minus 2, 1. Minus 1, 2, sorry. Okay. Now we got the value of C inverse. And we know that when Cx equals to D, then by Martin's rule, we can say that x equals to C inverse D. Now x is x and y. C inverse is 1 by 9, 3, 3 minus 1, 2. And D is K and 2K. When you multiply these two matrices, what will get? 3 into K, 3K and 6K, that will be 9K, minus K plus 4K, that will be 3K. Right children? We multiply 1 by 9 to these terms, what will get? K and K by 3. That means when Z is K, X equals to K and Y equals to K by 3. Right children? Where K is any number. Please note down.